All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a live discussion for Cloak and Dagger. I don't wait. Did I do that right? Okay. Welcome to Earth 2, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm, and topics like this we discuss. Cloak and Dagger season 2 premiered 3 nights ago, and we gave you guys a breakdown last season, so it's only right that we come back and do one, right? So you guys already know them, but I'm gonna let the ladies introduce themselves. Don't all go at once, okay?
Okay, I'm
Brianna.
Keem. Same
See,
time. Same
knew
time. Y'all know us. Y'all know us. It's
it.
cool.
Yeah. So Keem and Brianna are here with me to do this. Usually it's Keem, myself, Brianna, Patrick, and Anthony. But if you guys have been, not really paying attention, discovery discussions haven't been going as well as they should. It's nobody's fault. It's just it's a mix up with schedules and scheduling, and so those guys are we're still working on that. Don't worry, we'll be back though. But yeah, so Cloak and Dagger is gonna be on full tilt for this season. And with the drop of Cloak and Dagger for season 2, we got 2 episodes back, 2 hour season premiere. And first, before we get into it, what did you ladies think?
So far, I'm impressed. I have
Right,
questions. I'm
right.
intrigued. They've put enough out there that I will keep watching because I'm like, what? How? Wait, what happened? What's going on now? So far, so good.
Right. It's been. I'm sorry, Brian. You go ahead. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I'm just excited. I loved it. I liked everything. I'm excited for
Okay.
more. I was a little
Yeah.
confused at the end, but I want more.
Yes, yes.
And I think before we get into it, I want to discuss the ending for especially episode 2. I just think I'm really getting ahead of myself, but I think this both episodes set up a kind of like they set each other up. With the end of episode 1, you jump into the episode 2, and you get this whole setup for like what we're expecting the rest of the season. And suffice it to say, if Runaways never comes back, I'm not going to miss it because Cloak and Dagger is really and the part about Cloak and Dagger is it's episodic. So it's 1 episode per week. And yeah, so and we're here saying, oh, let's get more. It's like it'd be awesome if they dropped everything on once for the binge. But I think this show is good enough to where we can wait every week for an episode, right?
I
Yeah.
think it benefits us as a
Uh,
crew to have them drop it
mhm.
1 episode a week because then we can focus episode by episode instead of trying to discuss
Yes,
the whole
yes.
season and getting
Marvel's Runaways.
yes,
So,
which we never even came back to finish. I'm just like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's okay.
yeah. I mean, but they got a season 3 though. They got a season 3, so
They,
we should be excited for that.
I'm
Should
not
we?
mad at it.
So, let's get into Cloak and Dagger. Let's just jump right into it. So, episode 1 was called Restless Energy. I'm gonna drop the synopsis real quick, and we're gonna discuss it. So, after coming to terms with their destiny, Tyrone and Tandy find it difficult to just stand by and do nothing, while bad things continue to happen throughout the city. Bridget struggles with her recovery. Um, so I think it picks up 8 months after the event. Um, who wants to take this one first? I mean, I
Just
do
like a
have
general recap.
yeah, just a general recap.
Okay, well, yeah, like the first episode is them after 8 months and like how they're doing, and like Tandy is in ballet and she's living her life, and her mom's in recovery, trying to get better after being an alcoholic and like dealing with the abusive dad. And
Mhm.
Tandy's going along with that, and like she's having a pretty good life. Ty, on the other hand, is still in the church. He's trying to
Right.
help. He's still in the church, and it's sad. He's trying to help Bridget O'Reilly, but like he's doing the vigilante thing where it doesn't really do anything, but he's just trying because he wants to do
Yeah.
something.
It's just no
But
good at
also,
it.
yeah, he's not good at it yet. And they're
Yeah.
and both of them are actually doing their own vigilante thing, their ineffective vigilante thing because they want
Right.
to do something. So Tandy's like trying to help like women who are abused, but like her stuff backfires
A
because
lot.
yeah.
She's
And then
getting
Ty's stuff backfires because he's just taking money and it just makes them mad.
Right.
But yeah, like they are just like have all this energy that they want to like get out and do something, but both of them don't know how to do it effectively.
Yeah, yeah, neither of them do. And then we have Bridget, who
Yeah,
actually died and came back, and she's still trying to reconcile with that. And but to everyone on the force, it's just a shoulder injury. No, she actually died.
She
Like,
actually died and came back.
yeah,
Okay, so with Bridget, and this kind of has to do with the show, but then just in general, like movie and TV tropes. Who in the
right,
hell just because at this point, like she's struggling with something at the
yeah,
beginning. You can see she's struggling with something. They don't say it, but after she's at the shooting range and she like completely misses the target except for one bullet that's way off to the side. She goes out to the car and she takes like a handful of prescription pills and just pops them in her mouth and swallows. Like, what?
just dry.
Juicy mouthed people out here that can just take 3 and 4 pills without a glass of water. You, Mo, you can do that?
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
I
took a
can't.
Mucinex this morning and
I can barely do one pill with water, I guess.
So
seriously.
I have my daily multivitamins, right, and it's eight of them. It's eight whole capsules and pills or whatever, and I just throw it in my mouth, and then I drink water, and then it's gone. But yeah,
That's no.
people
I have to
exist.
take calcium and I get the gummies.
People exist that can do that, man. But
You're
no,
freaks. You're
Bridget.
freaks of nature.
Hey, look, maybe I died and I came back, and now I'm not gonna finish that.
But
Yeah.
also, do
But
they ever like explicitly say it? Like, does Bridget know she died? Or like,
but
is it
that's
like,
she hasn't she doesn't know because we just saw her come out of the swamp and
yeah, like, or
was
did she just pass out? Or was
yeah.
that her? Never mind, not yet, not yet.
Yeah.
So
I think that those are questions that'll be answered, but not.
yeah, so there's a so now back on refocusing on episode one.
But
It
sorry.
starts out. I'm sorry. It starts out with Tandy and doing she's back dancing. Um, and she's trying to adjust to normal life now that roles have switched, and we see Ty, who is trying to for him his new normal is I have to do something. So both of them have been practicing with their powers, as we see. He's able to more effectively cloak away. I think that's what we call it, right? Cloaking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she can actually control the lights on her, like instead of just making the dagger, she can make her hands glow. And when she was dancing and twirling, that was kind of pretty. But I think the focus of this episode was just on them personally and the toll of the event and everything that happened to them, because we see um Tandy and her mom are trying to reconcile themselves. It's like I because for Tandy had always seen her dad as a hero, and with the vision she saw from her mom last season, it just really rocked her world, and it made her mad, kind of mad at her mom. And she tends to lash out at these women, and like, no, like, don't just stand for it, just do something about it.
Well,
And
she's
as
mad at her dad still.
yeah, so she's mad and she's not dealing with that. So we see, and she's using, instead of like trying to deal with it, she's using the anger to she's lashing out at all these other people, her mom and these other women. And for Ty, he's like you said, he was stealing from the drug dealers. He was stealing their drugs, stealing their money. He would, I think he took it to O'Reilly once, and she was like, "You need to stop. Like, you need to lay low because you're literally doing this close to where you live. Like, why would you do that to yourself?" And it's just this duality between the two of them, and I think that's why I kind of like this show, because they're both almost the same person but different people, if that makes sense.
They're like
Because
the two
the
sides
same
of the same
side
coin
of the
and
Mm-hmm.
that
yeah,
shit. And like all the parallels and like even like this season, like now that they've switched roles, is like Tandy kind of has like a similar life as to Ty had in the beginning,
yeah,
and Ty's living her life and like they can't handle it. And
yeah,
then they're
and
both like they both like loved, obviously they don't love getting shot at and doing all that stuff, but they loved like being in it and like
They like
making
the
it like
action and the helping.
yeah,
and
and so
so
further into the episode, Tandy talks to Ty. Oh no,
they
Ty
get
goes out try another run, and he gets caught. And in between him getting caught, Tandy comes out and helps him out, and so they have a discussion about how they're gonna go about to do this in
They
a
have an
better.
argument.
Oh, it was a
They have a
discussion.
fight. They're like, why the fuck didn't you ask me to help?
It was an argument.
And then they
Okay.
like split up, and then like they're all mad at themselves and each other. And then they're like, okay, I got an idea. Let's work
And
together.
so,
I'm
you know,
sorry.
she's helping him out. You know, she's getting him stuff, right? Getting him like clothes, food,
Movies.
school supplies, because Ty is just he's a loser, and he
He's a
has to be.
nerd.
He's a nerd. He's a big nerd. He's a loser.
Okay, kids, there is nothing wrong with being intelligent and focusing on your schoolwork. He is not a loser.
You're on the run at this point.
I mean,
Be on the run.
there's nothing wrong with it.
But
But he is a
it
nerd.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't mean that he has to stop learning just because he's on the run. And he's trapped in that church. What the fuck else does he have to do? Like, there's nothing else on his
Practice
schedule.
basketball
He
and
can-
practice cloaking.
I
he
do
does
love
all
that.
of
Like,
that,
he's not
though.
even. I love that he's
Yeah,
not in school. And usually kids
No.
are like, fuck yeah, I don't have to do this. And he's
Mhm.
still like
He's,
getting
like,
physics
studying
books.
Yeah, and she comes.
physics.
Yeah, Tandy comes in. He's
It's
like, "You got that physics syllable for me?" Like,
right, right. I need my physics.
yeah, you got those lessons.
She gets him a voice recorder, and so this is their new plan now, is to go into the den or the hideout of these drug dealers and record
And meet up.
whatever. Yeah, record their meetup and use that as evidence. I like that idea. It's brilliant because it lets Ty use his powers, get into the scene, and lay, plant the voice recorder and everything.
And not get in the
And
way.
yes, and so they're getting ready to go to this club, right? Which I think was a cool scene. She puts Ty in this t-shirt, and she's like, "Nah, bro, like you can't be a loser. Like, come on, rip the arms, be cool or something." She effortlessly rips the arms off a t-shirt.
That was not real. I've tried. You can't just rip sleeves off. Like,
It's
I
hard.
can't. Yeah, so some ain't right. Hollywood material is different from real life material. Anyway, so and then it's like they have this kind of cute conversation, and I almost felt very awkward about,
the
because
waffles and pancakes.
I see their relationship as a brother sister thing. But
Yeah,
it
they've
was,
gotten real close.
yes, but it
See,
was cute though.
I don't see it as a brother sister thing. Like every time they start sitting close to each other, I'm
You
looking
think?
like,
No.
is this going to be the moment where they slip and kiss or something? Like,
Hmm.
there's.
I don't
I
see
mean,
it as brother sister, but I do see it as a very close friendship right now.
yeah.
And like they definitely have gotten super close. Like when they were
Well,
watching the movie, and he was like,
I think, yeah, you're right. It's probably like a really close, like, you don't have anybody else you can talk to about this. I don't have anybody else I can talk to about this. We have each other because we've had this experience. So yeah, you're right.
or it's like when there was like, you got cloak envy, and it's like, you can't do it without a blade. And he's like, lucky I have you. Like that shit was cute and
Yeah.
so pure. And then even when they were in the club and the waffles and pancakes, and then they did the waffles.
And then they did the
So-
waffles. But go ahead.
So they can touch now after the big boom of
Yes.
last season.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it.
I wonder if
Because
they're
they-
gonna.
They can't touch in the comics, right? They
Yeah.
they touch in the comics all the time. So now, I think my thing, right, with the whole thing is, so we get to this club, and Ty's just serious. Like he's not even trying to break character. Like if I was in a club, if I was a bad guy and I saw Ty come in, you're a cop, because
Because you're looking like
No
he's
one
extra
goes into-
observant.
like, yeah, like,
He's not just a cop. He's also a nerd. Like they said in the show. Like, how did you get past the line? Like he's like, Tandy, how did you cut that line? He's like, lines are for losers, Ty. Are you a loser? And he's just like, well, it's a line. He even was like, I've stayed in a lot of lines though.
like,
He
dude.
just doesn't know. Doesn't know how to
And
cut back.
yeah, she was trying to get him to cut loose and relax, and he's not trying to do that. And so they finally come up face to face again and have another conversation. And I think they're talking about again what's effective or how to help. And Ty looks off into the meeting place, and sees somebody's head bash against the window, like shit is going down. And he calls Tandy's attention to it, like, hey, look up. And then she sees it, and then they go to get in. This is technically the end of the episode. He cloaks in there, she runs in there with a dagger, and it's like
They're all dead.
body everywhere.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
I would never surprised that came up, but no. So that's episode one, and so now we've talked about the episode in a little bit, and so like ultimately, what do you feel about the episodes? Do you still have questions, or is there anything you want to add to it? Is there anything you would have done different? Is there anything you would like to see them do different?
I don't think there's anything I would have done different. Like Bree said, I like how they started this episode out showing how quickly their situations reversed and how Tandy is now living Ty's life, Ty is living Tandy's life. And it's a struggle for both of them to adjust to it because they both spent so long. Like he was the high school jock and the brainiac, and he was the one who had normalcy in his life, and she was the loner. And so now to see them switch these roles and try to get used to it and get back to what is their new normal without all of the crime fighting and all of that stuff, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like this show does really good with like the parallels and making sure that like they always kind of like, but I don't know the word for it, but like they're always like the same but opposite.
Like the dichotomy.
Yeah. And like so like their powers, like the way they live their lives, and even like how they're both restless, but they do it in like different ways. Or like when Candy's using it to like, what's it called? They're both using their powers to go after the things they're mad at, but they're doing it in different ways. And then Candy's like figuring out how to like just interact with people, and Ty's having to, like creep on the people he cares about.
That was kind of sad.
Because like he can't, but like Tandy's like having trouble just interacting with people.
Yeah. But also the soundtrack for that episode was really good.
Yes, it was. I think he dropped a verse for it. Was it this episode?
I think it's the next episode. He's one of the rappers on one of the songs.
Oh, okay.
He does some
and
music.
So that's episode. You know what? In a way, I kind of would have wanted to see a little bit more of O'Reilly, but I think we're gonna get more of her. I just want to we only had her in like what two, three scenes. The scene where she misses, the scene where Ty pulls up, and I think at the very end. I know she wasn't even at the very end. So we just got her in two.
No, there was three scenes. There was the where he shows up in the backseat of her car, and then they have that conversation. There was the scene where she gets the phone call from her captain that says that they're the two rival gangs are going to have like the meetup. And then there is the scene at the end where she was she there for that?
No.
That was the next episode. That was the next episode.
The gun range. So I just want to maybe just something, but then I think we do get a lot of her in episode 2. So
I think it's good pacing.
Yeah, it makes up, and it helps that we get both episodes back to back, because if we didn't, this would have been for me an honest problem. But we get her in episode 2, and I'll drop the synopsis for you real quick, and we get into it. Episode 2, White Lines. Desperate to help, but only finding they cause more problems than solving them, Tyrone and Tandy continue to struggle with their situation. Again, this is another focus on the kids episode. A lot more is now. So, what makes this episode really special, I believe. You know what? Let me ask you, ladies, what you think about it first. Then we kind of go into it.
Well, Patrick would hate this episode for obvious reasons. It jumps around because like all three of them have their own path that they go through, but you gotta rewind to see like how it led to the end. But this episode was cool. I like seeing them. I like seeing their different paths, because like in the first season they did it too, and it always showed how it led to them meeting up and stuff, and like the parallels of like what they're doing, or like even like the person that they wanted to save. wasn't the same person.
Right.
And you can see how like they did it differently. They didn't actually save anyone really, but like how they were trying.
No, they did. They saved the guy who was trapped in his own mind.
Oh, I meant for like the girl in this one.
Oh, well, yeah, no, we didn't save anybody. But so for this episode, I almost got annoyed
With
with
the thing.
with this, yeah, with drunk ass O'Reilly like falling down and then that whole thing. And I'm like, are we really doing this? But then by the end, I was like, well, that's not where I thought this was going at all. So
Exactly.
now I have questions.
I
I
love
feel
that.
I feel like
That was
all her scenes so far, like up to like the point we've discussed, is like it's just showing how like much she's been struggling, and you can tell she never got over Fuchs. Like in the beginning of that second episode, she was like, "Well, Fuchs is dead, and it doesn't matter, so you guys need to go." Like
Mm-hmm.
she never dealt with that. She got shot, or like she died. I don't know if she knows she died, but like she got shot. She's dealing with that. She can't even shoot straight anymore. Like she's just been struggling. She's just
Fuchs is
struggling.
bad guy, right? Not Fridge Bay.
Fuchs
No.
Fuchs is refrigerator. Connors is
Yeah.
bad guy.
Fuchs is Fridge Bay.
Fridge
That
Bay.
changes everything now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Boyfriend
it
pancakes.
Boyfriend, like he has like 3 names. His actual name on the show, Fridge Bay, Boyfriend Pancake,
Boyfriend
and
pancakes.
and she is right because she never dealt with that, and because she
That's
went
been
from
8 months.
yeah, but she went from Fuchs dying to the Troubles or the Big Bang. So she never had any. There was no in between. It was just boom, boom.
And I don't think Cloak and Dagger know like she got shot.
I don't think
No,
they do. I don't think
At the
anybody.
end of the season, like she helped them get free, and like she went
yeah,
off to go do something, and then Connor shot her,
yep,
and like they don't know about that.
nope, yeah.
She just
So
came out and was like, okay.
she has, and that's the thing. I feel like she has to deal with that. But ultimately, so this episode opens up this like literally after episode 1 ends, where they call her. So what we see, is she's in there and talking to them. Have you touched anything? What did you know? You guys have to leave.
Hmm?
The symbol. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yes.
Thank you. So one of the dead guys manages to draw a symbol that we later find out is called a veve,
Mhm.
and it's for Maman Brigitte, which
Mhm.
is a huge question mark for me because O'Reilly's first name is Bridget.
Bridget, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, are you playing on names or is this just a coincidence? So now, so he draws the symbol, and actually what's crazy is all 3 of them are standing there looking at the symbol and don't pay any attention. Actually, Ty's the only one who seems to have paid attention to it, and because of his relation to Bevita,
Mhm.
my heart, he he understands that there's some voodoo and magic to it, so he goes to see Auntie. Walks into her little shop, and they're talking. They have a conversation, and she tells him what the symbol is for, tells him who the symbol summons, and why the symbol, what the person the symbol summons does. It's vengeance or
Justice.
yeah, justice. And again, which happens to play on Bridget O'Reilly right now because she's a cop who wants justice, but who may also want vengeance at some point for Fuchs or her death. So it's a huge it's still a question mark, but it's still a nice little play on her character and maybe her arc going forward. Um so that while she as soon as she's done telling him, she mumbles a couple of words to him, and he's like, "What's that for?" And she goes, "Well, that's I'm putting
No,
a charm or a blessing on you." And he's like, "For what?" Oh, you
I'm
about
like,
to find out.
you're gonna need it.
And in walks the most beautiful person on this show, this lovely Bevita.
you're getting creepy now.
She is the most beautiful person
Now.
on the show. Now, right? I went through. Are you kidding me? We went through what's it called? Runaways, and now is the point I'm getting creepy.
That's
Anyways,
true.
so Evita walks in and she's like, she can't believe what she's seeing because again, 8 months. She was the last. She saw him with the mark, and according to her story, whoever has the mark dies. And so it's like, whoa. And so she can't believe what she sees. She walks out. He walks out after her, tries to explain, hey, I couldn't see you because the cops were, but you're alive and it's been 8 months and I've been worried sick, which is very understandable. I don't.
It's all valid frustration.
And then he thinks to himself, I'm gonna pull you into the corner. I'm gonna show you what I can do. And
I
that
love that
night,
scene.
he pulls into the alley. He
It's so
cloaks
dumb.
from behind her to in front of her, like, oh, I can do stuff, and that's why I was trying to protect you.
So, you know what I love about that scene? Like, as it
Mhm.
was going on, I love how she goes from like, did you just, you? And he's like standing there looking kind of proud, like, yeah, I did
Yeah, she's
that.
like,
Like,
nah,
I got
she's like,
powers.
nah, B, nah,
And
B,
like a typical Black woman, she was not even impressed. She was just
no,
like,
you
you mean to
just,
tell me eight
you
months
could,
you've been able to do that and you ain't popped in to see me and let me know you're okay or nothing? And he's like,
It was
what?
it was so funny because like the whole conversation started because she was like, all the cops can get us. Like I don't need to tell you that, right? And like his whole argument was like, they can't get me because I can do stuff. And she was like, then why didn't you fucking come see me?
That's right. Like, you make no sense.
because honestly, no matter how, that's just dumb on his part. But I kind of understand why he wouldn't want to even try it because it's something you do one time and all of a sudden you might slip eventually because you want to do it over the course of 8 months. Because once you start the first time, you see your girl, you guys do whatever, and you cloak back to the hospital or to the church. When you start feeling lonely again, you go,
You're gonna
hey,
go back. Yeah.
it was good.
What you
And
doing?
yeah, you send that you up text.
which which reminds me, sorry, skipping back to the first episode where he's like popping into
Creep up
like
on
he's
everyone.
creeping on everybody. He's checking it. Oh, and that's another thing we didn't discuss. So it looks like his parents have separated.
Wait, is
Yeah,
that what I thought he was just getting groceries.
It seemed like he was getting groceries in another part of town, though.
yeah, because
Like,
where his group was, right, where he took
mm,
Ty to season one, the little, yeah, it
mm-hmm.
might, but we'll find out because I think we also need
I
to
hope
explore
not.
his parents.
Because
I
then you,
know.
well, then you saw his mom. Like, first you saw his mom, right? And she went into the
Mhm.
house and she's on the phone and she's smiling and stuff. And then she pulls out what looks like her little takeout for one. And then he goes to like look at his dad, and his dad is going to get groceries. So it's like, are they together or not?
Because I could see how situation and circumstances could drive them apart. Our
Very
It's been
oldest,
quickly.
8 months. I
our
keep
first
forgetting
son
that it's
is
been
dead.
8 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Our first son is dead, and now our youngest son is on the
He's
run
on the lam. We
because
can't even see him.
Like
And then he
if he
pops
didn't
in.
visit her. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he pops in to check to see what Evita is doing, and as soon as he pops up, it's like a dude sitting there trying to holler, and he's
oh,
just like,
you can see his chest.
like, I ought to just cloak over there and steal that right now.
Well, you don't even have to just put him in your little cloak. Put him where you put Connor.
Connors.
hmm
Yeah.
And so,
And so she's like, whatever you're talking about, whatever you're trying, whatever excuse you're about to come up with, I don't care. I'm gone. Like, and she storms off for very rightful reasons. And still on Ty's story, he goes back to the church and he draws the symbol, whatever, and he tries to ask Mama
Bridget.
Bridget, yeah,
Brigitte.
to Brigitte to help him, figure out like who he's trying to help or why he has to help them. And she cloaks him to the back of the ambulance, and he sees this girl who's asking for help, and for some reason he couldn't cloak her out.
He didn't know how
So
yet.
so wait,
but
what has it?
hasn't he cloaked
Yeah,
with
he's cloaked people though. He's cloaked
He
people.
didn't know how to control it because he was trying. Like that's what he was trying to do when he was like grabbing her. He's like, okay, I'm gonna try because that guy was about to shoot him.
He about
And
to
like
try.
when he got back to the church, he tried to look for her. He didn't bring her with.
yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of it's kind of weird because
Maybe
later
it's
in the
because
episode,
it's high stress.
Yeah.
probably because as soon as Bayvita comes in, all that high
Mm-hmm.
stress works itself out. And so, and I think that was the end of the story. So now we go back to the club and we're going through to walk through Tandy's story, where as soon as she leaves the club, the next morning she's back in group again with her
Group
mom. And this,
therapy.
yes, and this one lady who I think we also kind of missed in episode one, where
Mm-hmm.
she threatens the her boyfriend, and you
Oh.
know she, and then he lies to his girl, like he's like those three
So
guys that came in.
can we tell the full story there? So the girl comes into group therapy in the first episode, and she says that the only reason that she came to group therapy is because it's the only way her friend would allow her to stay. And
Hmm.
so everybody's like, "Well, why do you need to stay at a friend's house? Why don't you just stay at your home?" And she was like, "Oh, well, me and my boyfriend had an argument, and it was just a misunderstanding. So
Yep.
I'm just giving him a little space." And so Tandy is over there looking like, all right. And Tandy sees the girl's wallet fall. She goes, picks it up. She gets her address off of it. She goes to the house when the dude is passed out. And she goes to the house. She sees that the girlfriend is already back there. And it's all good for a second. And then just like that, the guy flips again and he's, being a dick. And so the girlfriend leaves. Tandy waits till he passes out. She goes in. She uses one of her daggers and carves "Leave her alone" in the wall. And then, did she do something to him too?
No, she just cuts up like everything else. Like she cuts up the couch,
Yeah,
the
she
walls,
cuts
stuff like
cuts
that.
stuff up, and then she like lets lets the door slam as she leaves. And he wakes up and he looks and sees the everything cut up and sees the big "Leave her alone" on the wall.
I
So,
mean, I think she walked up to him while he was asleep and like thought about it for a second,
like,
and
I
then
could
she was like,
shake him right now.
she was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm
Um,
good."
So then we go back to group, and Tandy is feeling all proud of herself, like, I really helped. And the girlfriend is like, yeah, I had an epiphany. And so Tandy's like, sitting there all,
Yeah, she did kind of perk.
oh, whole phone, gone. Okay. Yeah.
Oh well, welcome back.
Thank
Oh,
you.
well,
Have a nice trip.
kind of
Um,
missed you
so that's what I get for trying to talk with my chest. So she's like super proud of herself. And the girl's like, I had an epiphany. I went back over there. The house was a mess. I found him cowering in the corner. He said that three thugs came in and they beat him up and like they carved up the wall with knives and a chainsaw. And I just saw how vulnerable and fragile he was. And I realized that he really needs me. And so now Tandy is looking like, this bullshit right here. Word? Seriously? So then she basically like calls the girl on her shit. Like, no, look, you need to take a like this at this point, it's a choice. He hits you, you leave. That's it. You don't need to go back to him because we all know what's going to happen. Probably not the best way to handle that because the girl just got up and left. Um, and at that point, everybody's like, she's probably going to go back to him. And at this point, she already feels alienated from this group because you judgy McJudgy face, you're sitting over here yelling at her, and she's not going to come back. And it's going to make it just that much easier for him to alienate her from everybody else. Um, so then Tandy feels really guilty about that, and she starts searching for the girl. She goes to the girl's friend's house. She's not there. She goes to the girl's friend's job, and the friend says she hasn't seen her in a while. She goes to the boyfriend's house, and he's like, no, she's not here, but you tell her that she's going to be in a world of hurt if she doesn't get her ass back here. And Tandy's like, man, you really having some bad luck, aren't you? And he's like, yeah, it was three guys. They came in, and she was like, word, three guys? Seriously? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, it's interesting, especially seeing as how you drool when you're passed out after 6 beers. And he's looking like, oh, yeah. So the girlfriend from the group therapy session is the girl that Ty sees when Mama Brigitte cloaks him into the back of this ambulance, and she's yelling, help me, they drugged me. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. And so he tries to cloak her out, but did not succeed.
Right. And so that is Tandy's story. She did, however, in her journey to find Shorty, she went up to she found, wait, was this before or after when she goes to when they no, this is while she's trying to find the girl. She meets one of the other group, I think the guy who founded the group,
Mm-hmm.
who's one of the other counselors, and he's trying to talk to her about anger and how he had misplaced anger, and it led him down this whole path, and he finally figured out how to help himself. And while he's talking to her, Brie.
Okay, I just fun fact, when the ladies are singing around the missing girl's place,
Mm-hmm.
the song mentions Saint Bridget.
Oh, did not catch that.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. But sorry, go on. I just wanted to, before I forgot that.
Yeah, and so, well, we get to this point where ladies are, and he's like, well, these ladies are singing because this is what they do because we have a lot of missing young girls, and they forever trying to help find them, and this is their way of helping. He's talking to her about the neighborhood. He's talking to her about helping. He's talking to her about anger, and she spaces for a second, and I think we hear her dad say, "Hey, pumpkin," or something of the sorts,
Mm-hmm.
and she can see him. And at this point, her powers are starting to go haywire, and boom, she blows up. She blows out a street light.
And some tail lights.
Yeah, and my guy's like, "Yo, did you see what just happened?" And she's like, "Oh, sorry." Like,
He
oh,
sounded so confused, like not even scared.
Like,
no,
just what? Because that's what he was like, what?
trust and believe I would have taken off the other way for all that to happen. I'm not gonna stand there and say what. I'm gonna be on the other side of the street saying, "Yo, did you see that? You saw that, right?" But so that's how her story ends up to the point where he gets a phone call and we get him. Um, he goes to the hospital where the girl is. She's okay. She's just a little overdose, and
A
but
little
she's fine.
overdose.
That's
I don't
okay.
even
She's
think
fine.
she's conscious. She's overdosed on heroin.
Yeah, so she's like big overdose. And he comes. He's like, yeah, she's stable though. She's all right. Nothing's wrong. And Tandy, feeling a little guilty, is like, and then she goes up and she hears one of the nurses say, um, these private ambulance companies don't, they think they can skirt through the rules. They think they don't have to answer to anyone. And
Wait,
he,
That was after.
that was after. She touches
no,
her and looks at her like memories and stuff.
And she can
thank you.
see like the back of she can see
Ambulance,
what the girl
The,
is seeing through her eyes, like looking out
yeah,
of the ambulance window and kind of crying.
which is, that's new for her, right?
But so is the
not,
light.
I don't think
Because
the memory part's that
yeah,
new because it's similar to the guy who was in
yeah, she
the.
did it. The
And
guy,
her mom.
right?
Yeah,
And so she's now okay, so she finds out what happened to the girl. Then she finds out from the ambulance company, and then she sleuths her way to the corner of wherever the last thing the girl saw. And when she walks up to the gate, to the fence, she sees O'Reilly, and that's the end of her story. Now we get the part three, the third part, the C story for this episode is O'Reilly, who at first, so what we had seen up to that point was just the interaction in the club, but we didn't see before the club where she's in a bar drinking. She gets a call from Tyrone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the club. She deals with she tells him to go. She takes away the recorder, and she calls 911.
yeah.
And I was very tripped out by that. Why would you call? Why you're a whole cop? I guess maybe she was trying to throw everything
Because why
away.
would she be there otherwise? Like she knows what's happening. She knows the meeting is going down. But
Right.
I guess because she has fucked up so royally in the past, they don't want her anywhere near it other than
Well, it's
seeking counsel from her.
she's the one who set it all up. Her and her whole partner or whatever, like they set the meetup up. So it's not like
Mm-hmm.
she knew it was going to happen. So they'd be like, "Why were you here?" why would you call this in? So like doing the 911, and then she goes back to the bar, and then she gets the call, and then she goes back. But before she gets to the bar, well,
Yes.
after the bar, and she's like out, and she's like throwing up and shit, and she's like over the puddle, and
then she sees her own reflection walk up beside her. That's like, I knew you couldn't do this. I knew you were weak. And
knew you
that's
were
where
punk ass
I
bitch.
got, yeah, like I got pissed off at that. Like, we're really doing the evil reflection thing. Like, like she can't just be taken over by whatever evil entity is in her. Like, we have to see it in her reflection. And they had these conversations and stuff now. Like, oh, this is lame. But
what was cool is before the scene, before that scene, she gets a call from her shift officer, and she like says, nah, I'm good.
she
She
ignores
ignores
it.
it, and she gets plastered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. When that thing happened, when the scene happened with the reflection, like really like, so whatever entity's in her, it's her. Like you could have shown us like a witch or something. You know, that would have been cool.
Yeah, it was
But
just her in a cooler jacket.
yeah, right.
And green nails.
With green nails.
So
Okay, usually her nails are red, and they were green.
as soon as
A
all that
check.
happens, the whatever says I'll take care of this or whatever. I knew you could have hacked this.
Mm-hmm.
Turns around, we get her walking into the club and just like,
Like
and
a
it's
boss.
like different energy, and she's talking
Different
shit to them.
stride,
It's like
different,
her
like her
from.
posture is different.
Yeah, everything. And she's like, "Oh, I know what happened here." So it looks like somebody may have slipped in before the meeting and taken the gangbangers off first, and then they took the middleman because they used to be gangbangers, and then the bodyguards came in and they took them. There's somebody missing, or someone we need to find him, this and the third, or a mystery man. And so they find the mystery man. He's not missing. He's
He's
just a
dead.
mystery.
They just didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm. Why he
And
was
so
there.
she goes to his house. And while she's at his house, she she's trying to question the wife, like, yo, what's really good? Like, why was your husband at a drug meeting? And she's like, I don't know. The widow. And like, why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Da, 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 da. And she sticks her thumb into a painting and goes, and she's like, oh, that's $100,000 painting for someone who makes 60 grand on salary. Like, how did that? And she rips it. Shh.
Okay, but I've
She's
always wanted to do that.
like, tell me.
It's just so cool. It was so bad, but like, yes.
You want to rip a painting?
Yeah, it was so satisfying seeing it. Like that rip.
Or
Just done.
just go, not like, how much does this vase run you? What, like 40 grand? Tip.
And she was like, I'm gonna call your boss. And she's like, see if I give a shit.
Like, okay, but like, if you don't talk to me, I'm gonna go Sotheby's through this whole house. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and
But
that was right there where she was like, ah, you know what, you got it. And she tells her everything. And was there one more scene, or she goes straight to investigate the ambulances, right?
she
I
goes
think so,
straight to
yeah.
investigate because the woman says
Oh,
he's getting
owns it.
paid a lot of money, yeah,
Yeah.
to store these private ambulances.
And so before we get to her, we get back to Ty, who's in church trying to figure out, the symbol and try to cloak back to wherever all of this is going down. And so so when Ty's there trying to figure this out, in walks Evita, her regular name. She walks in and she's like, I understand what you did, but I know it doesn't make me any less upset. But if you want to make this work, you got to control your breathing, and we already know you're uptight and da 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 da. So she coaches him on how to do it, and once they're done, they cloak to the hospital, and he sees, oh, that's the girl you were trying to save, right? Yeah, she's okay. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? And a cop comes in, and they do the whole like, I'm trying to kiss you, so the cops don't see
I'm
you,
trying to kiss you. They did. They
Right,
kissed.
yeah.
whatever. And so
You're
it's
so
like,
sad about
He
it.
doesn't want to think of her in that way.
oh, I'm trying to kiss you. I've always questioned that scene in any movie or show. Like, how does that work? So if somebody was kissing someone, could you not tell that's the person? Really? Like,
I think the thought behind it is, and I feel like I've heard this in
you're
something
hiding
before.
your
The thought
face.
behind it is people are uncomfortable by
With
other people's
PDA.
public displays of affection. So if you see somebody making out in the corner, unless you're a voyeur, uh, you're more likely to like look away, like, oh my gosh, why can't they do that somewhere else? And so, yeah, get a room, you guys. So
Also, his face would be turning away, and if you see
they would
someone
just see
kissing,
the
it's
back
not
of his
going to
head.
Whatever. Anyway, so she
Lord.
like, can you stay and make sure she's okay? Oh no. She goes, I'll stay and make sure she's okay. You need to get out of here because the boys are here. Right? 12 is here. 5-0, Popo. They here. Get out.
The boys.
Yeah, the boys. The boys
Okay.
in blue.
Okay, so
And so
he goes to see O'Reilly.
Yeah, so he goes to see O'Reilly, and she's all like mumbling in her apartment, like she's like, "Yo, what the hell?" He's knocking, like Detective
Like, I know you
Bridget.
don't want to see me, but then she's like,
You know what's really really funny though? They make a whole thing about him calling her Bridget, or
yeah,
them
which
calling her by her first name.
when he was like, Bridget, and I was like, who the hell is
It's
Bridget?
weird, right? I feel like in the first season they called them O'Reilly or something.
Yeah, the whole time.
Maybe. Oh wait, we forgot. Before that happens, Tandy and Bridget are at. They meet up at the thing, and they find that guy that's there who was kidnapping the girl, but they don't know the kidnapped girl part yet. And they basically, he's trying to run, and Tandy uses like that ball of light and just
He straight kamehamehas his ass, like he's trying to run her over with one of those private ambulances.
And he gets crashed out. That was cool.
I thought it was over for her because I'm like, he was really barreling down at her. I'm
like, your daggers aren't going to help you with that.
You're done. Like, you're not gonna jump out the way. I'm like, okay, she's forming this ball of light.
She was like,
jumps him off, and okay, yeah, and then at that point, Bridget comes up to her and tells her, go out and make sure none of his other friends come through while I question him. And so Bridget is questioning him, like, what are you
They
doing?
questioned him together.
They did?
Yeah, they questioned him together to see what he knew. It's like, oh, where are the girls? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know, but there's going to be something tomorrow with girls, and they're going to move them. And then Bridget is like, hey, Tandy, go be a lookout while I cuff him and put him in the backseat of my car so I can arrest him, right? And so Tandy goes to check. And she's like, and he's like, that's all I know. Believe me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you know what? I believe you.
With her fingernail. The same fingernail
with her green fingernail.
Slash the painting with.
And that's when, and so we get back to the apartment, and Ty's in there, and Ty's like, yo, we need to get out of here. No, not Ty.
Bridget.
Bridget's
O'Reilly. Like, we need to get out of here. Oh, right. Yeah, I'll just call her O'Reilly and call imposter Bridget. And she's like, we need to get out of here because she's going to come back and kill us. Who's going to come back? Who's going to kill us? Me. They cloak to the scene. No, and he's like, where are you taking me to? I'm taking you to Tandy.
Well, no, they were like, what the fuck are you doing? Because she was just holding on to her. And he's like, I'm aiming for Tandy. And then they get to Tandy. And Tandy's like, what the fuck is Bridget doing with you? She's with me. And they run back. And like, they're both there.
And she's like, and that was the best reveal ever because, like Keem said, I was thinking we're gonna get Mirror Universe where she's gonna, like be crazy, but it's not.
Like I thought she would be taking over or something, like the same body.
Yeah, nope.
And she goes, well, this happened sooner than I wanted to, but since we're all here,
I guess the cat's out of the bag.
And that's where the episode ends. And I think again, like it's both episodes stand really strong on their own, but together as a season premiere, I think that was a very smart thing they did to put two of those together. But they're both really good standalone episodes. Any other thing you guys want to add, break down, or
I have questions.
Yo,
I have questions.
Really?
So many questions. I'm so excited.
And
but like, okay, it's been 8 months. Has she always been around? Is she the one who got out of the water in the end of the last season?
Right. Or did she just come forth after the dude did the
the
dead dude after he did the
Yeah, he drew the sign or whatever.
And
Mhm.
It
is
could,
that an actual connection, or is that just a nice like little parallel, or like just coincidence? Like Bridget, and she's
could.
Justice, and she's the cop.
When you first saw him draw the whatever the sign, the symbol, I think his blood kind of touched it, and it could have been like a blood thing. And so she comes forth after everything. Like she might have, like, you're right. She might have come forth and taken form of Bridget O'Reilly.
Okay, I have another.
Kind of a stretch, but
I have another theory slash question that I'm wondering about.
right.
Is Bridget, not O'Reilly, Bridget Greennails, is she the one that was in there slashing the hell out of everybody at the
That's what
nightclub?
I thought.
Because
Were they slashed though? Or they were just beaten.
they were,
They were pretty fucked up though, and they were
yeah,
all. Everyone was like, "How the fuck can one person do this?"
yeah.
But
But
we
like,
haven't seen how strong Bridget Green Nails is yet.
Look,
So
if her nail is strong enough to slash somebody's throat without, she didn't even really look like she put that much pressure. She just did like that, and he
and
was
like her
dead.
nails aren't that long. Like I was
Yeah,
looking at them, like they're like they're
yeah.
just basic.
Like
So
nails are like the brittlest part of your body. Like I'm pretty sure her
not
bones are
mine.
dense as fuck.
she's
Like,
Wolverine. She's Wolverine. But oh, wait, no, this is a Marvel character too. Let me not say that. But it's interesting though. I think I think we've gotten a story of the Cloak and Dagger. I I want to see Mayhem story because I'm 100% positive that's Mayhem. Like, can't lie to me.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
That,
all the promos, it's like this is mayhem,
right.
and it's all green, and her nails are green. This is mayhem,
There's
fucking
one
mayhem.
where she catches a dagger. I actually want to see that. I want to see what leads up to that. Um,
But like,
has
I just
anyone seen the promos for next week's episode?
not
I
yet,
haven't.
not yet.
This kind of sucks, but no, I
It kind
really,
of sucks.
it kind of sucks. Like I would expect for more at the end of the episode. That way we can look forward to stuff. But no, I am looking forward to every episode that we get next. I am very interested. Again, like I said, in Cloak. I mean, I think. Am I really interested in Cloak and Dagger? I'm just really interested in Mayhem. I just want to see her
You're
red
really
hot.
interested in Evita.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that,
It's a different interest.
but so yeah. No, but I'm really interested in Mayhem this season because I want to see how far they take that character. Like, how far are they going to take her? What points are they going to, like, will they, is there a line that they're going to give her not to cross? Like, or is it, I mean, because already she's been seen not, like, she's
She killed.
failed.
What
Yeah.
what's the line after that?
I mean, kill Evita, hurt one of the family
Oh,
members.
she's gotta kill Evita. Oh,
Sex
you're
with
talking about like
animals.
family members?
Yeah, like, is she gonna, like, is and I'm again, Keem, you raised an interesting point after episode one about the parents. Like, we need to see that. Like, what's going on?
I
Like,
literally just thought he was out getting groceries. I was like,
right?
oh, they're fine, but they just miss you. It's so sad. And I'm like, no, they're divorced. What? 8 months?
Yeah, kid's probably the only thing holding them together, and he's gone now.
So it's
Um,
like so
yeah.
many questions, and we need answers. But in terms of a season premiere, like, what did you guys think of both episodes? Like, how they come together, or like, what did you guys think?
Dope.
Good
Thought it
shit.
was dope. I like it. It told a good story. It told a cohesive story that still leaves questions and gives you a chance to kind of come up with your own theories, kind of like me. Like, I'm pretty sure Bridget is the one that went in there and killed all those people. Because also, O'Reilly told Ty when they were in her apartment, she knows what I knows, and that makes her very dangerous.
Hmm.
So
True.
if she's always known about the meeting of the bosses and all of that stuff, it would be easy for her to go in there and take everybody out. But yeah, I thought it lays a good foundation for the season, and once questions start getting answered, I think it's gonna be extremely satisfying.
Right. I hope my hope is they keep this kind of pace. Like, what I won't like is if they because what could happen is you started on this kind of like high point, high paced show, like, and then you decide to slow it down a little bit. I can see that happening. I just hope they don't. I just hope we don't get fillers. I just
But
wanted to
don't most shows do that? They have
I
kind of a, and
like
where some
filler.
people call it filler, I call it build, because like,
I like
they
that.
take you to this high point, and but then you have this episode that kind of goes back and explains things, or it lays the groundwork for something. So it's building to,
Just wreck house. Just wreck house. It's just fight
No,
everybody.
I have
Every
faith in this show, and
I
I'm
do too.
scared. I'm scared because I have faith because like I just thought like first season was just so well put together and like everything like the parallels and like the way they do the stories and like I feel like there's so much thought put into it and I still saw that in these two episodes. And so I'm hoping that it just stays with it. And so if they do have like a filler type episode, I feel like it will be very purposeful
Okay.
and like it will still connect to everything because everything they do is so connected and I
Right.
love that shit. So if they do a filler, I think I'll be fine because they're very focused, I think.
mm-hmm.
I do especially like how when Ty cloaked into the ambulance, and you saw his point of view, and then um Tandy did hers, and you saw what the way it's again, they're in the same situation, but for everyone it's different. Like it's the same exact situation. They're both in the ambulance with her, but it's always different. And I really love that how they can see the same thing differently. And especially season one when he went into her with the guy in the hospital when they saved him. They're definitely gonna bring her back, right?
Michaela?
Yes.
I think they'll have to because they can't just like, why was she in there? Like, was she really doing heroin? Because like he was shooting, the ambulance guy was shooting her up
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and like all this stuff. And like before that, I don't think they ever said that she was even like semi addicted to heroin.
Oh yeah, she was
So
just
like that was like all she had was like the abusive boyfriend. And then also,
um
how did she get to that? Like, did that boyfriend do something?
no,
Or was it just like,
so
was it
hopefully
just
now
random?
they explore the whole missing girls thing because that's another angle with what I forget his name, but he was telling her, that when they were singing around the
Yeah.
lamp pole.
I feel
Um,
like that's what happened to her, because I'm sorry, Mo, but he said we have a safe house for women they know they can go to be safe. So it's possible that she left and made her way to that safe house, but whoever's running that safe house is
so that is
human
a
trafficking.
Mhm. But you know who I want from season one to come back?
Connors.
No,
I want to see him crumpled up like a little bitch. Just
I
come
want
back starving because
I
there's no
want the
food in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I want the
Even
girl
paler.
that they saved. I think to me, I think she still has a purpose on this show.
The daughter
Wait,
of the
who?
scientist.
Yeah, the daughter of the scientist. I
Oh
think
yeah, she definitely
so.
has to come back.
I want to see her come back. So you want to see Connors come back? I want to see her come back. Keem, is there anyone
Well, I
else?
mean, I want the scientist girl to come back too, but I just really want to see Connors just like fucking
Um,
suffering.
I'm just here for the
yeah,
ride.
you just yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you've heard our little theories of season two, episode two, of the theory of the Bridgets. Um, maybe it's Mama Brigitte, or maybe it's just someone else. But I am very interested in exploring that. There's so many things they can explore. Like you said, if they do give a build episode, a nice build would be let's focus on the abduction of the girls. Like for Tandy, I think that could be a little side plot for her because and while Ty's dealing with drugs and drug dealers, she has that, at least something to keep her in action so she doesn't lash out at women dealing with issues anymore because that was Judgy McJudgeson 1000.
That was like, it's your fault you're getting beat. Like,
I was like, oh,
ma'am,
victim shame? Like,
blame the
what is wrong
victim.
with you?
Jesus.
Yo, I was feeling really bad for Michaela, like young, like and
I love
so
Tandy's mom calling her out on it too. She's like, "Well, you just did all the work for him. Like now she's just gonna go back." It's like
Mm-hmm.
you were gonna go. He was gonna go back anyway. It's like okay, but now you just pushed her towards it more.
Quicker.
So I'm definitely excited to see them explore the missing girls angle, and then they're probably gonna explore with Ty with the drugs and then we're gonna get a lot of Bridget and Bridget, or BVB, Dawn of Justice. Um,
Red nails versus green nails. That's what I'm going with.
Christmas time.
no, literally Christmas colors too. But I am very excited for the season. I'm also very excited for the discussions and the breakdowns that we will have every week. So, thank you very much, Keem. Thank you very much, Bree, for anchoring this episode with me. Hopefully, we can get Patrick and Anthony on the next. Hopefully, that's a big hopefully, but hopefully we can make that happen. Thank you very much, ladies. Everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.